Good day. This is the Eye of the Storm podcast with the big picture technical update for the NASDAQ 100. It's being recorded on Sunday, March the 10th. And today I'm again being joined by my colleague, Sasha Goring, and we will be presenting our counts, both what I am considering my preferred count and then also what I would consider my alternate count. So both are going to be updated today. One thing that's really presenting a little bit of a challenge for us is the fact that the contract rolled. So we're now done with March and we're trading out in June 2024 on a contract basis of the future. Now, we could present this also on the NDX, and I may do that later. But right now, we wanted to present our update, which we are doing together, and that is always going to be involving the futures market. So we're going to continue to talk about the future. I'm again just going to present a quick update on my preferred count, and then we're going to turn it over to Sasha, who will then give his update also on his preferred count. But what we're counting up towards remains the same. I have to say, it remains the same. What level it gets to is what's going to be the difference between what it's completing. So it's becoming extremely interesting. And Sasha and I have discussed it in really great depth, all of these different moves. And we realize that, yep, we both still have a difference of what actually we'll be finishing once we get there. But we're going to go because what happens, unfortunately, both counts will go together. And then what the resulting would be if I'm looking for a primary C wave down and Sasha's looking for an intermediate fourth wave down, we're going to continue to run these side by side. So that's really kind of our underlying message, is that the market itself is really dictating what comes next. But because it's such a larger degree, we have to run both together side by side until one breaks. So if it's going to be a primary C wave down, we'll know because it'll break below the context of what even an intermediate fourth wave should look like and finish at. Because again, a C wave is going to be 5 down, and an intermediate fourth wave would be 3 down. So again, we're going to run them side by side, folks, because that is just going to present the best picture for all of us. So again, let me get started. So I am still considering this. My primary preferred count is still that we're in a primary B wave to the upside. Now, if I just bring this out real quick to the daily chart, actually take it one more because we're advancing far enough. I come out to my weekly chart, you can see that it's still primary A, and we're still in that primary B consisting of an intermediate A and B. We're in still intermediate wave C. And now mine, intermediate wave C will consist of 5 waves of minor degree. And so I have, let me bring it back down at least to that 4-hour chart. So I have what minor 1, 2, 3, and 4 done, and we're in that minor 5th wave. Now, again, we had initially, both of us were initially counting this finishing 5th wave up. Right? Whether it's a minor or a minute, what we were considering it is that it was forming an ending diagonal triangle. Well, that started to break down basically within how the depth of this 4th wave, and there was a couple other things that got broken. And so it ceased to really function as an ending diagonal triangle that would have started. So let's just understand the starting point. Under the starting point of January the 5th, 2024. So whether it's a minor or a minute 5th wave is actually a small point to go with, because what's more important to realize is that we're in that final 5th wave up. So whether I'm counting it as a minute or whether we're counting it as a minor, we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 of that final wave. And so we've taken away the fact that we believed it was an ending diagonal. And therefore, it's just a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in that 5th and final wave. Now, that's the wave where, again, Sasha and I are in agreement that that's the wave that is forming an ending diagonal. And it's actually much more appropriate. And it would have been appropriate in the larger degree as well, but here it's the final fifth. So it's very appropriate to finish up in a blow-off type of a move that forms a triangle. Now remember, in this triangle, even if it's an ending contracting, right? So it's going to wedge, waves 1, 3, and 5 will all be three-wave structures. But we're constantly going to be looking for wave A of 1 and wave C of 1 to form 5 waves. And then the same thing in wave 3 and the same thing in wave 5. But it'll wedge. So the difference is going to come that wave 3 should exceed the high of wave 1. And as you're going to see, it already has. But wave 5 may or may not exceed the high of wave 3. It's going to, because remember, we're diagonally, we got a triangle constantly wedging towards the pinnacle. All right, so with inside, so if I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to come right down to my hourly chart. What we got going on, ABC, wave 1. ABC, wave 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to form wave A of wave 3. Now, this did move to a new high above the finishing point of wave 1, and what we're labeling as wave 1. It is just wave A. Now, this is where it starts to get a little sticky because we had a very strong sell-off on Friday. And when it started, it was not going to stop. And really, what really kind of fell in is for the NASDAQ, they started to really hit the Magnificent Seven, the ones that have been pumped up. So and in particular, they really went after NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA closed down in our regular session 51 after reaching yet another new all-time high during the session. So it was extremely interesting. Now, if we start, and then after the regular close on Friday, we always have that extra hour, they continued to sell NVIDIA. So what we're both counting as the possibility of being a B wave, wave B of wave 3 of the triangle, it likely has some additional downside to do. But there's going to be levels that it really should not break below. And those levels right now are not as clear as one would think. But if the market comes in and gets hit as hard as they did on Friday, and we drop in terms of the NASDAQ, that we drop an additional, I think it was over 200 points, then we're going to be pretty far down. Now, the other thing to bear in mind, because of the contract roll, and this is where Sasha's chart's going to come in very, very handy, because Sasha's already got the June contract all labeled. And for me, I do have a June contract, but it's so thin, I needed to flip over, and then for all of my charts to be continuous, so that all of my labeling is going to be continuous. But like here, the March contract finished at 18,056. The June contract finished at 18,303. So wherever this market is going to start, that's its starting point, 18,303 right there. So whether it's going to go down or whether it's going to go up, the starting point is 18,303. So, and you'll see on Sasha's chart, it's the same pattern. It's just that this is all the way down here. So there's a $250 difference between the March and the June contract. So bear in mind that really presents its own challenges. So again, my moving forward outlook remains that we're still in the process of putting in this diagonal triangle to finish the fifth wave. And in my case, it's going to be a minute 5 to finish, a minor 5 to finish, an intermediate wave C to finish a primary B wave. It's a little bit different. Still all the way up to that intermediate degree. So Sasha and I are pretty much in agreement on everything below, and it's at that intermediate degree that we have a difference. And his would be that's going to finish intermediate wave 3. And I'm going to wrap up my portion right here because I want to give Sasha as much time as he needs to kind of go and talk what's actually going on now. So, Sasha, I'm going to stop my share and say good morning or good evening to you. Sasha resides in Germany. So
Yeah, exactly. So better for me to say good evening to you
it is
guys.
going to be better for you to say good evening. Absolutely right. So I'm going to stop my share. You can go ahead and put up your chart.
Yes, sir. So,
And right.
so it should be up now. Um, yeah, so regarding the last two times I was doing a podcast with Michael, nothing has really changed in the bigger view. So I consider being in a cycle wave 3, still in play, close to the end. So I'm resuming cycle wave 1, 2 is done. We are in the cycle wave 3, cycle wave 4 to come, cycle wave 5 to come, which finishing, in my view, in this alternate count, the super cycle wave 1. In that cycle wave 3, we have 5 wave of primary degree, which are finished, or which is finished the 3rd, the 4th, and we are the play of the 5th wave up. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit soon because due to all these drawings on my chart, it's not very easy to see it now, but once this move is complete, I will remove a lot, so it's getting clearer and clearer all in the future. Let me just zoom in, and I go on the daily chart now. So even there's a lot of drawing. Okay, assuming that the October low of 2022 is the low of or is the finishing point of the primary degree 4th wave down here. I'm going to put that over here so that you know what I'm talking about. Assuming that, or the idea is that we are in the primary 5th wave up, which is up here. So in that view, we have done intermediate wave 1, 2, and we are now in the intermediate wave 3rd wave, or the intermediate 3, to be honest, better to say, followed by an intermediate wave 4, which was Michael also talking about. That's on my chart here. Followed also by an intermediate wave 5, intermediate wave 5 to finish the cycle 3rd wave up here. So let's hop in. Yes, let me just remove my drawings for now. So intermediate wave 1, intermediate wave 2 done, intermediate wave 3. So consisting, you can see here, including 5 waves of minor degrees, sorry, 5 waves of minor degree, which is done, the 3, the 4, and we are in the minor 5th wave. So let's zoom in here. So we are in the minor 5th wave up, which is done minute wave 1, minute wave 2, minute wave 3, minute wave 4. We are in the ending stages of minute wave 5. So, and this is the whole part I'm talking about here from that low here. So this part I'm talking about now, I want to talk about now. I'm going to zoom in again because there is a lot. I'm going on the 4-hour for now. So again, zooming in, this is the minute 5th wave here we are talking about today because yeah, it's a very, very interesting and very, very, yeah, strange, but it's okay. Let's do it. So
I think the English word would be complex because it most certainly
complex,
is
yes, complex,
extremely complex.
extremely complex, yes.
Yeah.
So regarding we are in the minute 5th wave, we are underlined by 5 waves of minuet degrees. In my view, the minuet wave 1, minuet wave 2, minuet wave 3 is done, and the minuet wave 4 is done. So, and that part I'm talking about now is the minuet wave 5. So the last leg up to finish that sequence up. And as Michael was talking about the last time, we were considering that whole minute wave 5 as a diagonal, which got invalidated at that minute wave 4 low here, because it was, Yeah, it didn't fit anymore, you know. That's the problem. And so we removed that triangle, and we consider, or the idea is now that the last leg up, the minuet wave 5, this one here is the diagonal. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that due to the contract change, with that huge gap we are having here, or the 250-point gap, it's, yeah, I don't know why. Technically, it's not possible for TradingView to do that, but TradingView, hey, maybe you bring out some kind of a solution in the future, because it's really, really not easy to do that, TA on a chart with a huge gap. So, and also when you can see that that spike here did, or the run out of my wedge here, of my triangle wedge. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. Take the 250 points off, and we are directly inside again. But I will just talk about and to continue about that we do in the triangle pattern, forming 5 waves. Each wave under in the triangle count needs to be an A, needs to be 3 waves. So A, B, C for the 1. Then we have A, B, C for the 2. And in my view, we did now finish the A wave of the 3rd wave. Should be following by a B wave down in an ABC structure, so also a 3-wave move. And then again, an ABC up to finish the 3. Afterwards, we should get an ABC down for the 4, and again an ABC up for the 5 to finish that whole sequence to the upside. And afterwards, I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Afterwards, we should get a sell-off to the downside in the intermediate wave 4, but I'm going to zoom out and show it to you 1 minute later. So let me just do my removings here again. I don't want that. Hello, that one, that one, that one, that one. So because all these drawings make me confusing and makes you also confusing. So yeah. Okay, assuming that wave 1 is in of that minuet wave 5 here, of the minuet wave 5. So sub-minuet wave 1 is done. Very bad words for English, for German speaking English. So sub-minuet wave 1 is done. Sub-minuet wave 2 is done. We are now in the sub-minuet wave 3, consisting of an ABC, as I said. And I'm thinking, and I would assume, or the idea is now, that we are in this B wave of the 3. So the B wave needs to be an ABC down, and it needs to somehow also fit in that triangle forming, because the problem I have now is also that gap I was talking about. And the problem is, or the more important problem is, giving levels now, because I can assume levels, but remember please, all this here was pre-contract roll. So it's very, I have no points to add at the moment in this wedge at the moment. So I need that B wave down first. Afterwards, without that B wave finished, I cannot, because, you know, you have to understand, the contract roll was here in that night on the evening of the 8th of March 24. And without the opposite of that gap, so this B wave forming, I have no clues to add any points at the moment. And this is a little bit disgusting, because yeah, I want to give you some levels for now, but I can't do it, right? I can't do it now in this little time sequence here. I need this B wave first. Otherwise, I have no reference points to measure any extension to the upside. And yeah, so please understand that. And I think on the next update, everything will be better, because we have more data of that actual June contract. There's just this spike up and the sell-off.
Where would that B wave touch the that bottom trend line?
Yeah, the bottom trend line is around, yeah, depends on how we open, you know, but I think the trend line is in the range between 18,027 to 18,054
Right.
around.
Now, just as a suggestion,
Yes, sir.
since wave B basically is quote unquote correcting wave A,
Yeah.
if you were just to run from from the bottom of 2 to the top of A, just retracements.
Sure.
Yeah. And see how where they cross right there.
Yeah, we have the 78.6 retracement here, so that could be, yeah, very good target. Good hit, Michael. Thanks for that.
Or even the one above, 618.
618 could also be a target, yes. So that we are forming the ABC, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. Could be a good target for now. But I really, yeah, this is on the lower time frame, but I really want that B wave. You know, you just understand, I want to give accurate targets. This is a very good point. You can take the retracements of that A wave, sure. But it can also be that we really come completely down, even spike below that trend line
Right.
due to the contract rule. It can
Right.
also be, and still consider this as the B wave of the three.
And it would be considered an irregular. Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that fits as well. So yes, I really stand in agreement with Sasha. It presents a very confusing picture, and we must consider all possibilities.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
while we can't pinpoint and say, gee, this is where it should go, we can. And again, if you just put up those retracements and then look at 1.236, 1.382,
I have to add them.
they actually would kind of fall if you run that
Which you said 1.382 and 1 point, what do you want?
236.
I don't have it.
Um,
No,
you
I
could,
don't have it.
all right, 1.382 works.
But let me just do one thing. 1.382 and 1 point, what do you want?
236.
1.236. I'm just gonna do that one and it's gonna see. Okay, it would be here. That would be the price at 17,730 to
And
17,615.
do me one more favor.
Yes.
Go from the low of the previous C where you have wave 2. So we're including all of wave A. Yeah. So it's still really, folks, it's about the same.
Let me just measure
But in all
something.
honesty, I think both Sasha and I would be like, okay, this is not, again, what Sasha's talking about, and it's so very, very true. Each of us as analysts, we have to consider the look and the feel. It is something that Elliot himself wrote extensively about. And
Yeah.
it really, I mean, that's what Sasha was using, the look and the feel to talk about that it's not a diagonal triangle on that larger degree, but it is within this degree. But then once again, it's going to be our individual discretionary use of how we want to count Elliott as if it really starts to break down from here. So we're not discounting anything, and that's what I want to make clear too. We're presenting you that, and Sasha's doing an exquisite job of presenting the technical picture going up. But what if the market just decides to just halt, butt, and drop strongly again tomorrow?
Yeah. And we really
So
don't have that crystal ball. It can happen because we are so
exactly,
close to a top. It's, even if the other possibility is what I just saw or what I'm thinking of, is possibly that the wave one, but it would not fit to the contract roll. So we have on the previous from the March contract, we had this we had to make a higher high against that high here to put the wave one here. And maybe we are just in a part of it the wave two, but I don't think so. So that's why I leave it here. Because regarding to the March contract, we had to take out that high, and it didn't happen. So
right.
we opened in the night. It was after the opening again on
And it was due to
Globex
the
session.
contract roll.
Boom, we had it up.
There,
That's why.
there is a possibility that it may, but even like Sasha's really leaning towards, it's not a strong possibility, folks.
Yeah, yeah. So and then we still have only the third, the fourth, and the fifth wave, and that should complete that move up, and it should wedge on this diagonal because I can still only count three waves. It's an ABC still. Even if that low here was much too deep for this to be a part of, that this is belonging together. This is
Right,
separated, definitely. This
right,
move is a new move. So the problem, or not the problem, is I assume, and the idea is really that wave one is done. And this irregular based to the March contract and the June contract, I don't consider this as an irregular. It's just there due to the contract roll. And this is the B wave of the 3. So consisting of A, B, C.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's done. And then we got the 4 and the 5. And we are really close to that finishing point. Really.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to zoom out because I think this is clear here. So very, very close to a topping point here. Wave 3 is not done. Wave 4, wave 5, and then it's done. And we can say intermediate wave 3 is done. My fifth wave is done. My newt 5 and my minuet 5. So then we have this part together. It's done. And I'm going to zoom back out on the 4-hour chart for you to see. And so this is now the part where we have, or we're going to see, which is the count we should take as a preferred or not preferred count, because I think this is a very, very important point here. Remember, please, also that this is a moving target. The wave 4 is a moving target due to the upside. You know,
I like the way you say that.
it's like
It is a moving, and try to catch it. Yeah.
I can move it around, but I know only that intermediate wave 4 target when this top is in place, because it's
Yeah.
moving with the price up, you know,
Yeah.
because it's correcting that third wave.
Yeah.
Or that third wave here. Or yeah, exactly. And when we have that top in place here, I can give you some measurement or retracement for that wave 4. And this is an important point. When the market is holding in kind of that area which we define then later on when the top is in here. If the market holds here and goes to the upside, then I think this is gonna switch for my primary count. Because when we consider that B wave up and which is really on the table here, and we are expecting then a C wave down,
Much bigger. Yeah.
it cannot hold here. This is not existing, this target.
Right.
It's
Right.
really not existing. I mean, there are fib levels up on the way to the downside compared to that move or compared to that long move. But we really have to see, and I think when we hold that area, it's gonna be, yeah, we can assume that
Would you want to extend that window that you have? It's a great window, but to actually come all the way down to almost 14,000, because wouldn't that be the fourth wave of one lesser?
exactly. It can, of course, yes.
Okay.
And so these are the first targets, but remember what Elliot told us also is we come down to the previous fourth wave of one lesser degree,
Right.
which
Right.
is here. Exactly.
We do have that stronger potential, and everything remains in place in terms of preferred and alternate. Everything
Yes.
stays the same. So we got a lot to go through together to really come up
Yes,
to before a stronger, longer term count. So in other words, that big count. So because I think, Sasha, what we get is a lot of position traders that are going to be like, well, you know, what, you know, they're looking for some definition in terms of how deep or what a larger count's going to be.
Yes.
And I just want to address that for just a moment, because I think we're both suggesting, what we're both suggesting is that no matter what larger degree comes into play, we are reaching at least a midterm, a medium term high.
Yes, we do,
Where
really.
we're looking for downside, and that downside is going to be strong. So whether you're trying to position something for the next 5 years, well, you know, that part we can't cover here. But we can cover an immediate, the next, you know, if we're looking at this long, because this is a long-term chart, folks.
Yes.
This third wave that Sasha's trying to finish up here started in October of 2022. Is that correct, Sasha?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So, you know, if we're looking at a wave 4, we've done those timescales before. What is it, 382 to 618?
So let me just do one thing, Michael. I want to take the measurements.
Sure.
Let's just assume we just regarding that market or that price we are at now. It's a drop about 3,132 points just to get in this area, and it's not guaranteed that we come down further. You know, the range from that previous wave 4 low up to here is at now it's 4,600 points. in between regarding this is the this is just the intermediate wave for retracement. It can still be that we are correcting over 33% to the downside.
And the minimum is 38 too.
Yes, let me just do something.
There you go.
You know, and this is the point.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's perfect.
And it's yeah, I'm assuming that we come up a little bit higher. So we have the first target is look, I have to just put it also down. I'm assuming now that we have a little bit more upside to do.
Right.
And let me just check where I have my point here. Yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit more to the upside because we have 2 more waves to do. And the first target comes in, the really first target comes in at 15,814. And let's
Right.
just assume from here, it's a drop about nearly 3,000 points. You know, I mean, when this count here is, I don't want to say the right one, but when this count comes to play here, that we just have a healthy shallow, not a shallow, but we have a retracement here, you can see that. But when this count is in play, we have all through, if you want to hear it or not, nearly a drop of 3,000 points, I guess, minimum. Because we can assume that target range also come down to 14,850 for now, because I don't know how far this wave is exceeding to the upside. This target is really moving. I can show you that because whenever we go higher, this target is moving. The retracement, of course, because you are taking retracement or you want to correct that move up, and it's always moving with the market. And when, see now, and we are now at the actual price at what was it, 18,303.50, and we become up, and I guess we assume we have, 500, 600, 700 points maybe to do again. That would be, I just say 700%. Then we are having a correction minimum of 3,165 points. So 20% sell-off. I mean, that's huge, very, very strong. It will be there. But in that count, we really, really, really have to hold here in this area. You know, we have the typical wave 4 target is between the 38.2 and the 0.5 retracement.
Right. There you go. So
and then we still have that 5-wave structure to move up to finish the cycle third wave and the primary 5 intermediate wave 5 here.
Right.
You know,
it all fits. It really all fits. So, and this is just also just demonstrating, folks, the kind of the difficulty in times and trying to just piece together when the market is truly in a topping process. These are blow-off moves we're seeing in a lot of these individual stocks. And so trying to piece that together, it's like, okay, what are you going to do tomorrow? If I'm showing we still need to go up, are you going to come back in and buy the you-know-what out of this, out of NVIDIA? Are you going to continue to try to slingshot Apple up out of the basement, so to speak? Or, we have so much going on that it just, what's the mood of the day? What's the mood du jour, as we say. So Sasha, I just think it's like what you're presenting is so, it's really clean, even
Let
though
me just add one thing, Michael.
It's yeah.
Sorry, brother. Sorry. Let me just add one thing because I want to just present one level maybe, because whenever you take, I mean, you are all traders and you can do it on your own. Whenever you take the retracements and we are breaking the 61.8 dip level to the downside, I mean, that is the point. I would suggest that this was the B wave. So that you have maybe for now, considering we're moving up 700 points from that high we're at now, doing the 4, 3, and the 5, then the downside is limited really to the 61.8 at 13,897. When we break that to the downside, I think we're in a C wave down.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, that's what I want to add. I don't want
No,
to
I think that was perfect. That was perfect. That just ties it all up and cleans it up.
Yes, sir.
Before we go, first of all, thank you, Sasha.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me again.
It has not, this is going to be regular, so no invitation needed. No invitation needed. They're going to now expect us doing this. But thank you. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for such a clean, detailed chart.
Thank you.
And thank you for the layout, and thank you for the presentation, because it was very clean, and hopefully everybody understood.
Yeah, and
So,
hopefully everybody also understands when sometimes I have some hiccups because it's very, very not normal for me to do these presentations online with Michael and for such a big audience. And
oh, you were perfect.
okay,
No need to say you were clean. That was all nice. It was all
thank
good.
you.
But
Thank
what I
you.
want to toss in here before we go today, folks, is that Sasha and I are doing the logical signals trading.com trade room, our trade room. And again, even during the day, it's not easy, but I want to tell everybody we have part of what I invited new members, and that still remains open. We are still accepting new members into the trade room, and our cost is $299 a month. But here is the challenge that I put out, that I am, and now from last time that I mentioned it, each day that new members have been in the room, I have, and it's through, and it's on my charts are the ones that, or the trading are the ones that are showing. I have successfully done in excess of actually $300, but as a minimum $300 per day. So I stand and I say, please come and join us, because we are trading the NASDAQ, and we will expand and include analysis on the S&P if we had enough people that actually trade the S&P. Right now we focus on the NASDAQ, and successfully producing at least $300 per day. So we're covering the cost of the trade room, and then plus. Like, for example, not within the trade room hours, but on Friday, I was, by the end of the day, and I'm only trading not a huge account, so I only trade a maximum of, maybe if I'm really pushing it, up to 10 contracts, which I rarely ever do, because it starts as a $50,000 account. So within that parameter, on Friday, because it was a great day and we had a lot of movement, ended up over $1,300. So the money is there. And again, so it's just how we trade, what we trade, using good risk management. And this is all the things that we talk about when we're doing it. So again, the invite is out. Those that may have an interest, I am fulfilling not necessarily a pledge, but the goal. And the goal is to produce at least a $300 profit per day. So there you go. I'm going to put that on there so that it'll be there on the finished product. So, and again, it's Sasha and I together. So you get this detailed analysis, not on a 4-hour chart, not on a 1-hour chart, but he breaks it down, puts it on a 15-minute to a 5-minute chart. So this is very, very usable. We work up all these levels. He works up all the levels intraday.
Yes.
So please come and trade with us. And again, if you have an interest, go to www.logicalsignals-trading.com, and you'll see the trade room link. Join us, and we'll make sure that you are a part of our Discord trade room. And once again, Sasha, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael,
for coming in. And folks, this will also count as there won't be an additional update today. And so our next update will be the Elliott Wave update, and that will come on Monday, March the 11th. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, from my side as well. Thank you.
Okay, we got to go down to the bottom. There, come on, there.